Well, hello ladies, Kate here, and today I wanted to share with you something that at this time of year is absolutely vital, and that is tips on how to not put your back out. I've been going to osteopaths regularly for the last 25 years, and I know that there is a very good reason why the springtime is their busiest season for seeing people. And that is because people go from being possibly more sedentary during the winter time, and then springtime comes and they go out in the garden with vigour, or they go out on the golf course with vigour and completely forget the fact that they need to do some really simple things to protect their back. So let me share some of my top tips, some of which I'm sharing from a place of wisdom, and others I'm sharing to you because I've been there, done it, and put my back out in the process. So the first ones are when you are gardening and you are faced with a bush or a something that requires you to lean over to do something with it. So it's generally, if you've got a raised border, it's maybe not so bad, but anything that is going to get you in this position is going to put the alarm bells in my mind. Alarm bells if I've got to lean anything beyond here with a bent leg, and there is one thing that you can do to save your back, and that is put 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. I know it sounds ridiculously simple, but it halves the amount of pressure you put on that lower back. So then you're leaning over, but you're taking the weight on the front leg and you're balancing, so you're not here putting all pressure across this lower back. And to be honest, you only need to be in that position for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and it could be enough to put a lower back into spasm. So that's how critical that is. So anything leaning over, simply take 1 foot forward. So then your next thing is doing your pots on the floor and faffing all that. Well, for the majority of the summer, you're just stood here watering them, aren't you? But at this time of year, you're down, you're in and about them, you're picking them up, you're moving them around, you're doing all that sort of thing. So how do you bend down to pick up the pot? It's got to be a 2 legs wide, chin up, you know, like when I'm doing a real deep squat with you and you've got your bottom down and your head up. That is the only way I would pick up a plant pot of any sort. Little one, big one, really big one. It's always that kind of a movement that I'm doing. If you try and just go bend, pick, the pressure, I would never get you doing exercises like this, picking up heavy thing. You can see the pressure go straight for the lower back there. Or if that position doesn't suit you, it's got to be 1 foot forward. So let's get to it, shall we? Picking up the dog muck. Another classic one. You want to do that because you want to keep your nose away from it. You've got to take 1 foot forward, support yourself, come down, do the deed, and come back up again. But it's 1 foot forward, and watch my back heel. Back heel is off the ground as I'm doing it. That movement, with my weight supported here, you are like halving, if not 3/4, making sure that you are not going to damage your back doing that movement in the process. Picking up the watering can. Oink. Or 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, support yourself, pick up the watering can. Just think of what I would be saying to you if we were doing weight-bearing exercises together. What would I say to you as the coaching tips? And you've got to be your own coach in this. Like, who is it? Lynn in Kate's Club is doing decorating. So for the decorating or jobs that are down at this level, it's got to be a kneeling pad, or those lovely, sexy kneeling pads that you can get for your individual knees. And it's got to be down here, doing it or one leg up, but preferably a kneeling pad. And if you can, you always have something to support yourself. So I go along, if I'm doing like something down on the ground, weeding, something like that, kneeling pad, but then I also have something that I can support myself on as I'm doing the weeding. So I'm not doing this movement for half an hour, putting all that strain. I wouldn't do that with dumbbells. I wouldn't expect you to be doing any sort of exercise like this in the same static contraction on your lower back. So if you've just got one little thing that you can support yourself with. So I'll do it with either a fork in the ground, and I'll support myself there for doing it, or with the kneeling pad. That's absolutely fine. And then also when it comes to you've got your weeds and all the rest of it, what you put it in. So say I'm potting something up. This is another good one as well. I would have the pot and the compost here up at this height. I actually, Lee created for me a potting shed where the bench is up at this height, so I don't have to lean down for anything. Otherwise, down here, doing this, it's gonna do it. It's gonna pop that lower back out for sure. So that is my tips for that. So again, one step forward every time that you go to lean, coming down, support yourself, and pick up like that. So always supporting yourself, coming down and picking up in that respect. That will save you a bad back, which at this moment in time you can't even go to see the osteopaths to get sorted, or it'll save you hundreds of pounds at the osteopaths for that particular one. So please be aware of those. I hope those little tips will help and keep you safe. And if in doubt, elevate it, 1 foot forward. That can just save you in itself. It really can. So I hope that helps. Now, I also wanted to share with you, for Cakes Club members, the PFC and brightening it up at this time of year. So we've had a little bit of sunshine so far, and what I would really encourage you to do now is to list your own proteins that you like. It's the protein element that you can really make a difference to of your meal planning right now. So take into consideration that you've got peas, broccoli, courgette, not so much, avocado. You've got all of these other things that you've got that you can get your protein from. So please bear that in mind, and bear in mind that you can use your fish. You can use your tuna fish, you can use your salmon fish, your oily fish is really good. Get some fish in there at least a couple of times a week. And for your beans, please get more pulses and beans into your diet, because they are a great source of protein, and they are a colourful carbohydrate, and they are really good for fibre. So remember how we speak about in the PFC, you're trying to keep your system as busy as possible. Well, your beans and your pulses are a really good way of doing that. So for instance, if you just have a bowl of lettuce, which is free, it's on the free list for a reason, because it is so easy for your stomach to digest and whoosh, get rid of. And it's negligible calories, everything else. That's why it's on the free list. Equally, that is not going to fill you up. So you need to have a more complex carbohydrate with your salad base. So whether that is, so I really like the fact that they'll do like shredded beetroot in some of the salads, the salad bowls that you can buy right now. Lumps of orange in there. Beetroot, pickled beetroot, red cabbage, shredded red cabbage in amongst it, carrot grated in amongst it, because what's that's doing is it's adding to the fibre. Sweet corn is another good one. Pineapple, get more of your fruit in there, put some raisins in there, a scattering of your mixed seeds and berries over the top of it. That can make it a bit rabbity food, I think, but I tend to stick with putting those in my smoothies with my NutriBullet and bzzz, those, and then you never get little black links in your teeth ever again, in theory. And so really think about your protein and your where you are getting the sources from, and list the things that you like. If you list them and put them on your fridge, you can then just Google the recipes with those beans in, and you'll find a flavour that you like. If you like chili, if you like Mediterranean, if you like Mexican spices, I will so often just go to the fridge and go to the cupboard, and I'm like, okay, I've got cannelloni beans, I've got some chorizo, I've got eggs. Recipe with cannelloni beans, chorizo and eggs. Oh, wait, that'll do. I like that one. That one will do for tonight. So really use the Google recipes to your advantage to mix and match. That would be my top tip as we move from one season to another, to keep your meals interesting and to make sure that you are filled up. So I do hope that helps, ladies. I shall see you bright and breezy. Those of you in Kate's Club, I will see you in Kate's Club tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope that keeps you on track. Bye.